So in the previous video, we have talked about props. In this video, we are going to dive deep into props. There are different ways you can pass props. We are going to see some of the TypeScript configuration you need to do. How do you pass uh, types to your props, right? So all these things we need to figure out, right? So as usual, we will take small steps, and I hope that helps you to understand the big picture. uh, it's better when when you try to start with small steps. People usually put themselves in a place where like they have a lot of complexity in the beginning, and I won't recommend that because I mean it's easy. Like you can do the easy stuff that builds the confidence so that you can do the hard stuff. Okay, so let's get started. Fine, so we had this component. Let's remove that. It's just distracting us right now. Let me save that. Now you can see, first of all, like we have this props everywhere, right? We can do better. So what we can do, let's remove that just to make your life easy. We know we need two variables, right? So what we can do destructuring. Now we can do X and Y. Now, if you know nothing about destructuring, I would highly recommend read about it. But basically, what destructuring does is when we have props, what we can do, we can get, let's say, const X and Y from props object, right? Because props is an object. So what we can do, we can have a variable X we can get from the props. So whatever the X has value, we can get that. So over here, we're doing the same thing. We're passing X and Y from props. And instead of writing props.x, what we can do, we can remove props.x. And now we have just that. And if I go to here, you can see we still have sum of two numbers are 9. I can zoom it in a little bit so that you can see it. So, but it's still complaining because we need to pass the correct props types. So let's do that. We can create an interface, add number props, and we can say we have X, which is a number, and we can have Y, which is number as well. And what you can do, you can take that and you can pass that here. Now we know that X is a type of number because if you hover it, it will take you here. So usually what we do, we in the component, what we can do, we can create a file types.ts and we paste that and we do export. We do export and we come here and then we can just simply import that, and you can come here and you can refresh. We're still getting the same answer. So this is like the recommended way. Like you put your types in types.ts file and you can import that so that your code wouldn't look clustered. Like if you have types and if the component gets bigger, then like your types is there. So everything gets like smooshed in like one place. So this is again a good recommendation. This is what we do in the production setting. So it's good to learn. Good to learn these things. They're tiny things, but I think it's better to learn them. All right. So this is one way. Now what we can do, um, we can create another component. Um, user profile.tsx. Let's put some export default function user profile, and let's do return um, user profile. If one thing I didn't mention is that if you put these fragments, so what they do, like like I think I missed that part. There's so many things I think we get missed, but maybe it's a right time to explain here. So why we have these fragments? Well, I could easily write div here. Totally fine. You can put div. Fragments are like you can wrap your divs or you wrap your whole component in fragments, and the good thing is like the fragment wouldn't show as div. So sometimes you have like nested divs, div, because you need to pass data or whatever, right? So this saves you an extra div. When a component gets complicated, then you'll understand why. I think one thing I forgot to mention is that everything in return statement has to be wrapped up inside a div. I don't know if we talked about maybe in the first or second tutorial, but that's fine. Let's talk it about again. So if you have, let's say, div and p tag and everything, like you can't just put, let's say here, I can't put, let's say, a p tag and say, hey, what's up, whatever, right? Save it. It's complaining. A JSX expression must have one parent element. So what you can do, and you don't want to put a div for whatever reason, because that div just maybe like make things complicated for whatever reason. What you can do, you can cut that guy, paste it here, and let me delete those two. We don't need it, right? And if I save it, now everything is in these called React fragments. Everything works fine. So you saved yourself an extra div. Yeah, so this is one of the things. So what I can do, I can write here user profile. We might not need it, and let's create an object. Const user is equal to, oh, name maybe. So now I just added a user object, and we are passing user.name. Pretty chill, like we know we can do that. And let's say we have in the user profile, we have another component called avatar.tsx, and then here we have let's say a form.tsx, just example, right? So now we have this avatar component. So what we're doing here is we just loading an image pretty much and passing these two things, the name and URL. So pretty basic React component. And I have an interface avatar props which you are passing here. So similar what we did, what I explained you here. So it's very similar to that. Now this is a child component to our user profile. So what I'm doing here, I'm passing this avatar and I'm passing this name prop, and I think I'm missing another prop, right? Because it needs two. So I need to pass image URL, and I'm passing some image I need to find. Let me see. So if I copy that, pass that, if I come here, do the refresh, wouldn't change anything because I didn't change that in the page.tsx. So over here, let's remove the add number. We don't need it. And let's import our user profile and save it and come here. Now you can see, now we have user profile, we have name. Let's zoom it in. We have name and whatever name we are passing here. So that is what we have here. We have name two places. So let's move that name for now. And this is the child component inside user profile, and we are loading that. We have user profile, we have the image and name. What we can do, we can inside the user profile, uh, my name is this, and we can convert the span into, sorry, the span into p tag so that it is inside a p tag. So what we did, so as I explained you previously, when we have parent and child component, the data must flow from parent to child. So this is another way that I'm showing you. We have this, and we have our props here. We're passing our interface here, and the data is going to avatar. So this is what we are doing, object destructuring, and we are, instead of doing props.name here, so what we could have done that props.image URL, props.name, we remove that, and we are passing our just like you pass arguments to a function, we are passing those props here. So this gives you like how, like in real sense, like in real world projects, like we pass data and how do we render these components. I think this lesson is going a little bit longer, so maybe we'll cover more about props in the next video. Well, that's it from this video. Thank you.